Hello, and welcome back to our channel where we help you gain a bold and unbreakable mindset. Today, let's delve into a topic that's often seen as an ultimate life goal: finding love and happiness. Many of us view personal relationships as the key to achieving this goal, and research actually backs this up. Studies suggest that the quality of our relationships is the most significant factor in determining our happiness. But here's the catch. While we yearn to find our heart's true home, sometimes when we do, we run into the opposite direction due to intimacy phobia. That's the fear of being emotionally vulnerable. This fear is closely tied to stress and depression. Fear of intimacy is a very real thing, and it is completely understandable, especially if you had a history of failed relationships or grew up with emotionally distant or absent parents. This fear can exacerbate anxiety, stress, and depression and lead us to unintentionally push away those we care about the most. We're constantly plagued by doubts about the stability and security of our relationships, often contributing to heightened stress and worsened symptoms of depression. This constant emotional turmoil wastes precious time in decision and deprives us of the opportunity to be with the ones we love. So today we're going to explore 8 telltale signs that might indicate you're struggling with an intimacy phobia. Number 1, you repeatedly find yourself drawn to the wrong individuals. Have you noticed a pattern of falling for individuals who are not the best match for you? Do you often feel an attraction towards those who are emotionally distant or maybe even display abusive, rude, or unfaithful behaviors? This tendency to select unhealthy partners is a common trait among individuals who struggle with a fear of intimacy. Why? Well, it's a way to shield yourself from getting too close to someone and avoid the possibility of building a stable and secure future together. Paradoxically, you might discover damaged, standoffish, or complex individuals more enticing because you have an inclination to avoid true intimacy. Unfortunately, this can lead to unintentionally rejecting those who are genuinely sincere and committed. Number 2, you're a workaholic, and it's like you're married to your job, leaving little room in your life for any kind of relationship. It's possible that you pour an overwhelming amount of yourself into your work as a way to divert your attention from personal issues and avoid confronting them directly. You might even use your job and your constant busyness as an excuse for not being able to establish or sustain healthy, long-lasting relationships. This tendency to immerse yourself in work can be a way to evade committing to something serious, especially for those who fear intimacy. So if you identify as a workaholic, it's worth reflecting on whether this behavior serves as a mechanism to avoid addressing the root causes of your fear of intimacy. Number 3, you have a strong desire for perfection. It's natural to desire the approval of those you hold dear, but it's essential to constantly project a flawless image of yourself to them. If you're a perfectionist, it's probably that you struggle to reveal your shortcomings and imperfections. There's a fear that others may reject you because of these flaws, or perhaps you're unwilling to acknowledge them even to yourself. This tendency to always maintain a perfect facade can be intimidating to people, making them hesitant to approach you because they find it challenging to measure up to your level. While this mask might keep everyone at a distance, it's crucial to learn how to be open and vulnerable with the people you care about. Trusting them enough to reveal your imperfections is a vital step in building meaningful connections. Number 4, you tend to sabotage your relationships. It's a common occurrence among individuals who fear intimacy. This fear can have a profoundly destructive impact as it deprives you of the chance to experience happiness, stable, and functional relationships. Sometimes you may unconsciously undermine your relationships by failing to communicate effectively or by suppressing your feelings. On the other hand, you might intentionally engage in actions that you know could hurt or upset the people you care about. It's easy to understand why this fear can hinder our pursuit of happiness and prevent us from committing to meaningful relationships. Number 5, you tend to display odd behavior, which essentially means being inconsistent in your interactions with others. When people start getting too close to you, your initial reaction is to push them away. Perhaps you found yourself occasionally cutting off contact with friends after spending quality time with them, or maybe you've shared something deeply personal with your partner only to suddenly withdraw, ceasing communication for a few days. These actions are indicators that establishing a genuine emotional connection with someone makes you uneasy. Consequently, you try to maintain your distance and prevent yourself from becoming too attached because their proximity exceeds your comfort zone. When someone gets too close for comfort, you instinctively retreat in the opposite direction to protect yourself from potential emotional hurt. Number 6, fear of being left alone plagues you. Often an aversion to intimacy can trace its roots back to an underlying and unresolved dread of abandonment. Individuals who experience neglect from their parents and exhibit an anxious avoidant attachment style tend to be particularly susceptible to developing this fear. With this apprehension lingering in your psyche, you tend to adopt a positive self-image but harbor a negative perspective of others. You begin to believe that the only reliable person in your life is yourself. Consequently, you find solace in the idea that it's wiser to exit relationships before you become the one who is deserted, which makes you hesitant to let people into your life and grapple with the concept of long-term commitment. Number 7, you're fiercely self-reliant. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Being independent is a valuable trait, as it signifies competence, knowledge, and self-sufficiency. However, it's equally important to recognize when you need assistance and be willing to ask for help when necessary. If you're excessively independent, you might find yourself attempting to handle everything on your own. You take pride in never relying on anyone for anything. In many respects, this self-reliance empowers you to maintain a sense of control over your life and create emotional distance from others by avoiding the need to depend on them. By ensuring you never have to rely on others or ask for their assistance, you inadvertently fuel your fear of intimacy. Your independence provides a certain level of freedom, but it also serves as a barrier, maintaining a certain level of emotional detachment. Number 8, you have a history of short-lived relationships. A history of short-lived relationships often indicates a profound fear of intimacy. This fear typically originates from your reluctance to establish and maintain meaningful emotional connections with others. It's tied to your concerns about vulnerability and the emotional risks that come with genuine intimacy. As a result, your relationships tend to be brief because you find it difficult to navigate the complexities of emotional closeness, handle conflicts, and commit for the long term. This pattern can also be linked to past emotional wounds or unresolved personal insecurities. Ultimately, short-lived relationships are a clear signal of the challenges you face when it comes to building and maintaining meaningful and lasting connections with others. Breaking free from these patterns can be challenging, especially when we've become accustomed to certain behaviors. Painful memories, messy breakups, and difficult experiences from our early childhood can leave us burdened with emotional baggage that may take years to work through. However, it's important to remember that it doesn't have to be this way, and change is possible. You don't have to allow these negative experiences to shape your identity and continue to haunt you throughout your life. With dedication and support, you possess the ability to overcome your fear of intimacy and embrace a healthy, emotional, fulfilling relationship. However, the initial step is simply acknowledging these signs. If you found yourself relating to any of these indicators and you're prepared to break free from this damaging cycle, please share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel to learn more on mental health issues. Thank you for watching.